Isn't it peculiar? We often find ourselves sprinting away from discomfort as if it were a terrifying monster lurking in the shadows. Yet, it is precisely those moments that threaten to obliterate us that mold us into our true selves. Right now, as you absorb these words, you may be navigating through an experience that feels insurmountable. Perhaps you're sitting in your vehicle after a long, grueling day, feeling utterly drained and devoid of energy. Maybe you're wide awake at 2 in the morning, grappling with the chaotic unraveling of your life. Or you could simply be weary, exhausted from the charade of pretending everything is okay, when deep down, it isn't. Tired from wearing a facade that has grown unbearably heavy. Here's a transformative perspective that could alter your entire outlook. While many perceive their bleakest moments as evidence that the universe has turned against them, the ancient Stoics possessed a profound understanding. They recognized that our most profound wounds could serve as our greatest teachers. The very challenges we strive to evade often guide us toward discovering our authentic strength. Marcus Aurelius, a ruler who faced personal tragedies that would have shattered the spirit of many, penned in his private reflections, "The mind that pursues the good, whether it achieves it or not, is honored by its very pursuit." He didn't write those words to impress others. He wrote them as a reminder to himself that even amid heartbreak, despair, and emptiness, there exists dignity in the quest for righteousness. Allow me to be candid. This message may bring forth tears, and I do not apologize for that. Sometimes, we must confront the full weight of our inherent strength. We must remind ourselves that we have weathered every storm leading up to this very moment, and that, in itself, is nothing short of remarkable. It's extraordinary. But here lies the conundrum. We exist in a society that urges us to evade discomfort at all costs. We swipe past anything that evokes emotion, seek to fill our voids with material possessions, or distract ourselves until the pain fades into the background. What if I told you that what you're fleeing from is, in fact, the gateway to your true self? The Stoics lived in an era devoid of smartphones and the endless distractions that plague us today. When Marcus Aurelius buried his children, when Epictetus endured the torment of slavery, and when Seneca faced the threats of exile and execution, they had no choice but to confront their reality. In that quiet confrontation, they unearthed what we have seemingly forgotten. Pain is not an adversary. Struggle is not a mark of weakness. These are the raw materials of transformation. Right now, there's someone listening who is grappling with a silent battle. Someone is mourning a loss that has shifted the very foundations of their existence. Someone stands before a fear that looms larger than their courage. And someone is questioning their ability to continue moving forward. I'm here to remind you of what the Stoics grasped all too well. You can press on, not because you possess superhuman qualities, but because you are human. This isn't yet another lecture on positive thinking or a call to deny the challenges that lie before you. It is a recognition of your journey, an acknowledgement of the tumultuous path that can lead you to the extraordinary. This journey is about learning to navigate through your struggles, to find significance amidst the turmoil, and to recognize that the very experiences shattering your heart might also be creating space for a deeper love, greater wisdom, and profound compassion than you ever envisioned. So, I invite you to take a moment right now. If these sentiments resonate with you, express your commitment by acknowledging them. This isn't for me, it's for you. A declaration that you are prepared to confront truths that may be unsettling yet essential. Leave a mark by sharing your courageous battles in the comments. Reach out to someone who needs a gentle reminder of their inner strength. Join our community as we embrace growth over comfort. And above all, absorb every word. Each phrase is crafted for someone, and perhaps that someone is you. The insights that follow are not mere theories. They are invitations. Invitations to shift your perspective on life, to uncover hidden reservoirs of strength that you never knew were there, to realize that your sensitivity, your struggles, your very human heart, these are not imperfections to be discarded. They are treasures to be embraced. Stand tall with us by affirming this statement. My pain is becoming my power. Let's explore the first point, the hidden treasure that lies within your most challenging days. Allow me to recount a pivotal moment that transformed my life entirely, and perhaps it will help you understand why your darkest days can become your most precious gifts. This particular day unfolded on a Tuesday, a reminder of how life often chooses seemingly ordinary moments to impart those invaluable lessons we never anticipated needing. I awoke, believing it would be just another day. But by nightfall, every certainty I held about myself, my relationships, and my future had been stripped away. You might recognize that feeling when the ground beneath your feet suddenly disappears, when the narrative you've clung to for years is rendered meaningless. That was my reality on that fateful day. And perhaps it mirrors what you're experiencing now. The wisdom of the Stoics, which we often overlook, speaks volumes here. Our most agonizing days are not punishments. They are opportunities for revelation. Epictetus, who experienced suffering in ways most cannot fathom, shared a profound insight. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. These words emerged not from a life of ease, but from a man who faced enslavement, endured physical torment, and lost everything the world deemed valuable. From the depths of his trials, he discovered a profound truth. When the external is stripped away, what remains is the core of your true self. Your worst day does not define you. It reveals you. It dismantles illusions, exposing the strength that endures when everything else fades away. I vividly remember that night spent in my car, tears streaming down my face in a way I hadn't experienced since my childhood. These weren't the graceful, cinematic tears. They were raw, anguished sobs that felt like they were tearing through the very fabric of my being. Yet, in that complete unraveling, something remarkable began to shift within me. I shifted my approach from asking, "Why is this happening to me?" to pondering, "What is this trying to teach me?" This simple yet profound shift in perspective transformed everything. No longer did I see myself as a victim of my circumstances. Instead, I embraced the role of a learner navigating through life's challenges. While the pain remained, it morphed into a resource I could wield. The fear that once paralyzed me became a powerful fuel for a bravery I had yet to discover within myself. Your most difficult day is tirelessly working to unveil a facet of your resilience that you might never uncover otherwise. It exposes a reservoir of strength that comfort can never coax out. It teaches you that you are not as delicate as you once thought, not as powerless as you may have dreaded, and not as alone as you sometimes feel. Consider the individuals you hold in high regard, the narratives that ignite your spirit, the examples of greatness that stir your emotions. They all share a common thread. Each has traversed moments of collapse, and in those moments, they made a decision akin to the one you have the chance to make right now, to allow the breaking to morph into a breaking open. The treasure concealed within your most painful day does not make itself known immediately. At first, it is swathed in confusion and bound with the cords of sorrow, often arriving at the most inconvenient times. Yet within that package lies everything you need to evolve into the person you are destined to become. Within it is the compassion you will carry for others, enduring their own struggles. It holds the resilience you will require for challenges that are yet to reveal themselves. It contains the hard-earned wisdom that can only be gained from walking through the flames and realizing that you were not destroyed, but rather refined. Your darkest day does not signal the conclusion of your story. It marks the beginning of a richer chapter. Not richer in the sense that life becomes simpler, but richer because you emerge stronger, wiser, more empathetic, and more genuine. If you are ready to embrace your toughest moments as your educators, declare this: my worst day unveiled my best self. Next, let's explore the hidden strength that lies in feeling deeply. At some point, someone likely told you that you were too emotional, too sensitive, or overly intense. Perhaps they expressed this concern gently, or maybe they conveyed it sharply out of frustration. Regardless, the underlying message was clear. Society often perceives something amiss with those who experience life so profoundly in a world that seems to reward emotional detachment. What I wish someone had shared with you from the beginning is this: your sensitivity is not a flaw to be corrected. It is a unique gift that you have been conditioned to conceal. Seneca, a prominent thinker from ancient Rome, wrote letters to a dear friend that were strikingly candid and emotionally raw, still capable of evoking tears from readers even after 2,000 years. In one such letter, he expressed, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." What makes this statement extraordinary is that it was not penned from a place of cold detachment. It sprang forth from the depths of heartbreak, loss, and a profound sorrow that only someone with an open heart can truly understand. The Stoics, often portrayed as cold and unfeeling, were anything but. In fact, they embodied a profound emotional awareness that set them apart from many of their contemporaries. Rather than shunning their emotions, they embraced them wholeheartedly. The critical distinction lies in their ability to experience their feelings without being overwhelmed by them. There exists a significant gap between deeply engaging with emotions and succumbing to them entirely. This sensitivity grants you the remarkable ability to perceive life in vibrant hues, while others remain ensnared in a dull, monotonous gray. Your intuitive nature enables you to detect when something is amiss long before the evidence materializes. It's the reason a breathtaking scene can move you to tears, or why you might feel the weight of another's sorrow as if it were your own. This depth of feeling is not a sign of weakness. It is instinctual, a profound insight that transcends the teachings of any book. Your emotions are not mere whims. They serve as crucial signals, an internal compass guiding you towards truth. That unsettling feeling you experience in a relationship? It's not just unfounded worry. It's your perception picking up on nuances that your rational mind hasn't yet deciphered. The thrill you feel for a path that others dismiss as foolish? It's your intuition recognizing a hidden opportunity that remains invisible to them. The world is in dire need of those who possess such deep emotional awareness. We require individuals who care enough to experience pain, because it is this very capacity to care that drives transformation. We need those who can detect the silent suffering behind a carefully constructed smile. We crave the presence of those who can stand before a sunset, feeling its beauty resonate within their very bones. We seek those who can recognize injustice and feel compelled to take action. Your tears are not signs of fragility. They are the unmistakable markers of a life fully lived. Your intense emotions are not imperfections, but rather extraordinary gifts. The ability to empathize with another's struggle is not a burden. It is empathy in action. It's time to stop apologizing for the profound nature of your feelings. Stop trying to dull what makes you beautifully human. Reject the false notion that true strength lies in feeling less. Authentic strength is found in the capacity to feel deeply and still show up for others. It's about continuing to care, choosing kindness even when it would be simpler to close yourself off, and maintaining belief in the goodness of humanity, even in the face of adversity. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is your greatest asset, allowing you to forge connections in ways that superficial interactions cannot. It ignites your creativity, enhances your capacity for love, empowers your ability to inspire, and fuels your healing power, not in spite of your emotions, but because of them. If you resonate with the belief that your depth is not a liability, but a source of strength, let that truth resonate within you. Now, let's explore the idea that losing everything can often lead you back to yourself. There comes a pivotal moment in every life when something you once thought was indispensable is stripped away from you. Sometimes this loss is abrupt. A job vanishes, a relationship comes to an end, a cherished dream crumbles, or a loved one departs. Other times, it is a slow unraveling, like watching the threads of your old life fade gradually until, one day, you awaken to find that you barely recognize yourself or the world around you. I want to delve into that transformative moment because, whether you've experienced it yet or not, it is an inevitability that everyone will face at some point in their journey. If you find yourself navigating through a tumultuous journey at this very moment, I want you to grasp this essential truth. You are not disintegrating. You are aligning. The great philosopher Marcus Aurelius recognized this profound insight more than many. He eloquently stated, "Loss is merely change, and change is the delight of nature." Though these words may flow easily off the tongue, embodying them in life is a different challenge altogether. Aurelius penned these thoughts not from a place of ease. Rather, he was a man who faced unimaginable heartache, who buried his own children, witnessed the decline of his vast empire, and endured betrayals that could shatter the strongest spirit. He articulated these truths because he had uncovered something deeply significant through his own experiences of loss. When all the external distractions are stripped away, what remains is the essence of who you truly are. There exists a curious blend of both beauty and harshness in the experience of losing everything you once believed defined your existence. It is harsh because the pain can reach depths you never thought possible. Yet, it is also beautiful because it compels you to confront the authentic self that lies hidden beneath the layers of roles, titles, material possessions, and attachments that were never reflective of your true nature. I recall vividly the day I lost what I had perceived as my entire identity, the career I had dedicated years to, the relationship I believed would endure the test of time, and the meticulously constructed future that seemed so certain. All of it evaporated in what felt like mere moments. I found myself sitting in an empty apartment, surrounded by boxes, feeling like an unwelcome guest in my own life. What many fail to mention about hitting rock bottom is its remarkable solidity. It serves as a foundation upon which you can rebuild. When there is nothing left to hold on to, you find yourself with everything to gain. When familiar patterns cease to provide comfort, you are propelled into the exploration of new paths. As your former identity crumbles away, you gain the freedom to redefine who you wish to become. The journey of losing everything isn't solely about learning to let go with grace, though that understanding may come in time. It's about perceiving loss as a form of liberation. Each ending clears a space for the emergence of something new. Every door that shuts guides you toward the one that is meant for your journey. Each departure creates room for those who are destined to remain. Loss is not a punishment. It does not signify your unworthiness. It is a gentle nudge from a wiser universe that knows what you genuinely need. It serves as an invitation to relinquish the struggle for control and to trust in the unfolding of your path. Picture a tree in the depths of winter. At first glance, it appears lifeless, its bare branches silhouetted against a somber sky. Yet, beneath the surface, life is quietly brewing. It is not fading away. It is preparing for the vibrant rebirth of spring. This is where you stand today. If you find yourself in a season of loss, you may feel hollow, vulnerable, and fragmented. However, beneath the surface, in unseen realms, you are gathering strength for the journey ahead. You are developing roots that will delve deeper than any foundation you have known. You are preparing to become a version of yourself that is yet beyond your imagination. In truth, the art of losing everything is fundamentally the art of discovering who you really are. Not the self that the world has dictated you should be, but the self that is intrinsically yours. Not the self that craves constant approval, but the self whose worth resides wholly within. Not the version of ourselves that crumbles under the weight of life's changes, but the one that bends, adapts, and emerges even stronger. The fourth insight revolves around the unexpected blessings hidden within dreams that remain unrealized. Many of you listening may be mourning aspirations that never materialized. Perhaps it was a business venture you invested your heart and soul into, only to see it fail. Maybe it was a relationship you believed was destined to last, but ultimately came to an end. Or perhaps it was a career path that never took off, or a life plan that was completely derailed by circumstances beyond your control. In the aftermath, you might find yourself questioning your worth, wondering if you simply didn't try hard enough, or if you're doomed to always fall short of your deepest desires. Allow me to present a concept that may seem hard to accept at first. Your shattered dreams are not indicators of failure. Rather, they are redirections guiding you toward something far more appropriate than you ever envisioned. The philosopher Epictetus offered a profoundly liberating perspective. Instead of demanding that events unfold according to your desires, wish for them to unfold exactly as they do. He wasn't advocating for surrendering your will or resigning to a lesser existence. Instead, he highlighted how our fixation on a singular outcome often blinds us to the more promising possibilities that lie in wait, disguised as obstacles. Envision someone who dedicates 3 long years to pursuing a singular dream. They invest every bit of their time, energy, health, and joy into achieving it, sacrificing precious sleep, connections, and balance along the way. Then, unexpectedly, that dream crumbles before their eyes. In the wake of such devastation, it feels as though those years were in vain, as if life has robbed them of something precious. Anger simmers within them, anger at fate, at themselves, and at those who seem to thrive while they falter. Yet, within that painful moment, a crucial truth often goes unnoticed. That dream was not a waste. It was preparing them for something greater. The so-called failure was a necessary experience, breaking them open, allowing new, more aligned aspirations to surface. The skills honed during that pursuit became the groundwork for an entirely different path, one that could be profoundly more fulfilling. Every person they interacted with, every ounce of resilience they cultivated, and every bit of character they developed was not in vain. All of it laid the foundation for a future that remained obscured to them at that moment. Your unfulfilled dreams are not evidence of your inadequacy. They serve as a testament to the guidance leading you toward something that resonates more deeply with the person you are becoming, rather than merely reflecting who you once were. Sometimes, we must let go of dreams that were never truly ours to make room for those that genuinely are. Imagine a river encountering a boulder. It doesn't cease to flow. Instead, it adapts, carving a new course that often leads to a more breathtaking landscape than the one it initially followed. The barrier does not signify the end of the journey. It enriches it in ways we may not immediately understand. Your broken dreams have the potential to impart lessons far richer than those fulfilled. They reveal that your worth is not anchored to external accomplishments. They uncover strengths you may never have realized were within you. They cultivate a wisdom that springs from having your heart cracked open and choosing to keep it open despite the pain. Perhaps the end of that relationship was, in fact, a blessing, sparing you from settling for anything less than you deserve. Maybe the job you didn't secure was steering you toward work that ignites your passion. In the tapestry of life, every thread, whether frayed or whole, contributes to a picture more intricate and beautiful than we can see in the moment. Perhaps the dream you once clung to with unwavering certainty was, in truth, far too limited for the extraordinary potential that lies within you. This isn't to say the journey won't be painful. It's essential to honor the feelings of sorrow that accompany what has not come to fruition. Fully embrace that sense of disappointment. It's an integral part of the human experience. However, don't let that sorrow trick you into believing that you are unworthy of beauty and fulfillment. Just because one door has shut doesn't mean that all others are bolted tight. Consider this. Your shattered aspirations are transforming into fertile soil, ready to nurture new dreams that align more closely with the person you have become through your trials and tribulations. These new aspirations are those you might not have even envisioned while you were still tightly grasping the remnants of the old. Have faith in the journey, even when the final destination remains obscured. Trust that life is subtly working in your favor, not against you. What may feel like an ending could very well be the most significant new beginning of your life. If you find yourself ready to embrace the notion that broken dreams can pave the way for something better, I encourage you to express that sentiment. Acknowledge that your shattered dreams are evolving into something greater. Now, let's delve into the sanctity often concealed within our most challenging conflicts. I want to share an insight that could profoundly alter your perception of every trial you've encountered. Your struggles are not mere flaws in the grand design of life. They are, in fact, integral features. They do not signal that something has gone awry, but serve as evidence that something significant is unfolding in ways you might never have anticipated. In our society, we often treat struggle like a disease to be eradicated at all costs. We reach for quick remedies, popping pills or repeating positive affirmations, desperately trying to manifest our way out of discomfort. But what if the very thing we have been conditioned to flee from is, in reality, the most sacred aspect of our humanity? The Stoics embraced a philosophy known as amor fati, which translates to love your fate. This isn't merely about acceptance or endurance. It's about embracing your fate with open arms. Marcus Aurelius wisely advised us to accept the circumstances fate binds us to and to cherish the individuals fate brings into our lives. He was reminding us that our hardships are not arbitrary punishments. They are purposeful lessons, strategically placed along our paths. I vividly recall a moment spent with a dear friend who was grappling with a painful divorce after 20 long years of marriage. Each time tears flowed, she would apologize, insisting that she ought to be stronger, that she should have moved on by now. It struck me how tragic it is that society has taught us to feel shame for our struggles instead of revering them. Your struggles are sacred because they are sculpting you into a person you could never have become without such experiences. That anxiety you carry? It is nurturing your empathy for others who are silently battling their own demons. The weight of depression that rests heavily on your chest? It is enhancing your ability to savor joy in ways that effortless happiness could never replicate. The heartbreak from loss? It is broadening your capacity to love in ways you previously thought impossible. Every individual who has made a profound impact on the world, be they educators, healers, artists, leaders, or innovators, shares a common thread. They have struggled. They have faced moments when the thought of giving up seemed like the easier path. Each of these experiences shapes us, and through them, we find the strength to rise and create beauty anew. They grappled with uncertainties about their own strength, intelligence, and value. Yet, through this tumultuous journey, they uncovered a profound truth. Their challenges were not a mark of disqualification, but rather a testament to their resilience. One cannot guide another through the shadows of despair without having traversed the dark valleys oneself. Comforting a heart in mourning is a task made meaningful only when one has embraced their own sorrow. To ignite the flame of perseverance within others requires having navigated the treacherous paths of adversity oneself. The trials you face bestow upon you a depth of insight that no academic setting could ever impart. What elevates these experiences to the realm of the sacred is the power you hold to define their significance. You have the choice to let them harden your spirit, or you can allow them to cultivate your wisdom. You can permit them to shut your heart tight, or you can choose to expand it, allowing compassion to flow freely. You can allow them to persuade you that life is unjust, or you can let them unveil the common struggle that exists for all. This shared understanding is what makes human connection so profoundly impactful. Your journey is sacred because it is dynamic, ever-changing, and it molds you continuously. The individual who entered this chapter of your life will not be the same one who emerges from it. It is within this metamorphosis, this evolution of self, that true sanctity resides. At this very moment, you are in the midst of becoming someone remarkable, someone who has faced the flames and chosen to view them as a process of purification rather than destruction. Someone who has confronted their deepest anxieties and unearthed strengths they never realized were there. Someone who has experienced shattering moments and decided to let the fissures be the entry points for light to pour in. Your struggle is sacred, crafted uniquely for you by a universe that has faith in your capacity to endure it. Not without scars, not without tears, not without effort, but ultimately leading you to triumph. Now, let's talk about the bravery required to start anew. There comes a pivotal moment in each of our lives, often more than once, when we feel the tug to embark on a fresh journey. This isn't born out of failure or resignation, but rather from outgrowing the version of ourselves we once were. Realizing that the life we constructed no longer aligns with who we have become. Beginning afresh at the age of 25 feels like embarking on an exhilarating adventure. At 35, it can feel daunting. By the time we reach 45, it may seem nearly insurmountable. At any stage of life when we thought we had everything neatly sorted out, this transition demands a level of courage that many may never fully grasp. Seneca, who faced the loss of wealth, status, and ultimately his own life, was intimately familiar with this kind of bravery. He famously stated, "Life is long if you know how to use it." His wisdom did not imply that we should merely count the years, but rather that we should strive to live each moment to the fullest, even if that means stepping away from our comfort zones to embrace the unknown. Imagine a woman in her early 50s, bravely leaving behind a lucrative career in law to embrace the world of teaching. To outsiders, it might appear as though she has lost her sanity. Why would she exchange the security and respect her established career afforded her for the uncertain prospect of a novice's salary in a new field? Why would she choose the unpredictability of life over the comfort she has painstakingly earned? For her, this decision is not an escape from something undesirable. It is a response to a deeper calling within her soul. Working with children reignites a passion that had been dormant for decades, allowing her to rediscover the joy of learning that once lit her spirit aflame. And this newfound clarity transforms every leap into a worthwhile gamble. Embracing a fresh start does not mean erasing your history. Instead, it is about weaving together every lesson learned, every misstep encountered, and every skill acquired into the sturdy framework of what lies ahead. Nothing is lost. It all becomes integral to the tapestry of your renewed existence. The bravery required to begin anew is, at its core, the bravery to believe in yourself more profoundly than you heed the judgments of others. It signifies a choice for growth instead of comfort, for untapped potential rather than predictability, and for genuine authenticity over mere approval. It is the declaration, I may not know precisely where this path will lead, but I am certain I cannot remain stagnant here. Perhaps you find yourself in this very space now, yearning for a fresh start in some facet of your life. It might be a relationship that has long since lost its spark. Yet the fear of solitude has kept you tethered. Or perhaps it is a job that provides financial stability, but at the cost of your spirit's vitality. It could even be a version of yourself that others cherish, yet feels like a costume that has long outlived its purpose. Here's a vital truth to hold close. Starting over is far from quitting. It is an evolution. It distinguishes between merely existing and genuinely living. The universe is in desperate need of individuals willing to demonstrate that reinvention is not only possible, but essential. It requires those who remind us that we are not bound by our initial choices, our past errors, or the labels imposed upon us by others. To start anew allows you to carry forward the lessons learned while letting go of the burdens of regret. It permits you to honor your former self while wholeheartedly embracing the person you are becoming. Yes, this journey can be daunting. Yes, you may stumble along the way. Yes, some may fail to comprehend your choices, but there exists a far more terrifying reality. Reaching the twilight of your life and realizing you never summoned the courage to pursue the life you genuinely desired. Your future self depends on you to summon the audacity to choose possibility over safety, to have faith that you can create something meaningful, even if you must begin with nothing but open hands and an open heart. If you find yourself here, it is because a part of you understands that these words were intended for you. Not because your struggles are heavier than anyone else's, but because you are prepared to view your challenges through a fresh lens. You are ready to cease fleeing from your pain and begin to listen to its lessons. You are prepared to stop apologizing for your deep feelings, start harnessing that depth as your greatest asset. Here lies the fundamental truth cherished by the Stoics, a truth we often forget. We are not mere victims of our circumstances. We are students, learning from them. Each obstacle presents a lesson designed to foster our growth. Every loss carves out space for something that resonates more with our true selves. Each ending quietly signals the dawn of something new. The tears that may accompany your reflection on these words are not indicators of frailty. Instead, they signify a profound recognition, a reminder from your soul of its own resilience, a recollection from your heart of its innate courage, and a stirring within your spirit to awaken its inherent strength. You entered this world equipped with all you need to navigate whatever challenges may arise. Life is not without its scars, nor devoid of moments filled with uncertainty. There are days when the weight of it all makes you yearn to simply give up. Yet, Within you lies an incredible power to rise above, to conquer those challenges. Your struggles are not signs of a flaw within. They are proof of your existence, of your capacity to care, and of your evolution into someone remarkable. The philosopher Epictetus reminded us that we are all performers in a grand play, crafted by the elusive author of existence. While we may not dictate the length or essence of our roles, we do have the power to choose how we embody them. Your journey may weave through heartbreak, obstacles, reinvention, profound emotions, and the heartbreaking act of letting go of what you hold dear. However, this journey is uniquely yours, and it is only you who can breathe life into it. The world craves your narrative. It yearns for your sensitivity, the battles you fought, and your experiences of falling apart and then piecing yourself back together. It seeks evidence that even in our darkest hours, we can rise, continue to love, nurture hope, and seek out beauty. Now, I invite you to take a moment for yourself. If this message resonates within you, acknowledge that feeling, not for anyone else, but as a promise to yourself. Commit to viewing your struggles not as failures, but as vital training grounds for the remarkable person you are becoming. Reach out and let someone else know they are not alone in their journey. Share these words with someone whose heart is heavy and in need of encouragement. As we gather together, we forge a community of individuals who recognize that challenges are not insurmountable barriers, but gateways to the lives we are destined to lead. Always remember, you are not broken. Instead, you are in a state of unfolding, a transformation that alters everything. If this truth resonates deeply within you, declare it in the comments as a promise to yourself. I am not broken. I am breaking open.